Yo, 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 it's your boy Van on the VanLife Biker Show. Well, I figured today would be a great day to do a van tour. And we'll go over all of the pricing. I know it's been killing you guys to know what all this cost me. And I'm going to tell you, it didn't cost me nowhere near what those new Winnebago Sprinters are selling. You know, they're like a couple $100,000. And the last I heard, there was like a 2-year waiting list. So we're going to go over all this. Some of this is recycled wood, as you guys can see here. I took the sides down with the planer to make a little bevel there to go over the aluminum edge there, how we fabricated our shower. We went over all of this in the past videos, so I've documented the entire build, guys. I've got a couple loose ends hanging right here. We're going to have another one of these can lights that just needs to be popped in. And right there's a puck light, is what they call them in a residential home. So I wanted to have a 120 volt light. And then I'll probably run some kind of wood around the actual wiring back there once I get it all tidied up with some tie wraps and such. But, you know, for the most part, this baby is done. I mean, I've got a Saturday of tinkering around out here to just kind of button up some things. So, this here lies our bathroom. It's underneath of a hatch. Of course, this can be shifted back. It's shifted around in here a little bit while we were driving on our last trip. We averaged 21 miles to the gallon, which I am extremely happy with. We put a latch up there so we can lift the hatch. Got our hoses put on the back here. We just flip the hatch here, guys. Fold this down. And a lot more walking room. So this closes up. And, you know, if it's just me traveling, I just keep it like this. Why not? There's our shower wand. Comes off the faucet there. I just hang that up in the cabinet above. We fabricated a shower curtain rod in there. I did a video on as well. So we just flip that cabinet up and voila, we've got a shower. So back here we've got our inverter. And excuse the mess, but as I say, we're still under a little bit of construction. So no time to really organize things yet. We are starting to fill it with clothing and things like that. So we're getting real close to ready to go. We put wheels and tires on it. Later on, we'll do a little touch up on body work. We've got a little surface rust here and there. The previous owner kind of did some half-ass primer over top of things, but didn't take anything down. And we'll go over that stuff. My plan is to go over it with like a bed liner after we take care of the rust. And right here's our refrigerator. This was made by Unique. I've mentioned in other videos, it's great size. Way bigger than your average fridge that you'll see inside of a van build. Bread box here from way back in the day. We've got our TV on a swivel over top the driver's seat and passenger seat. Right here is a dryer. And yes, a washer as well. I just picked up a percolator coffee, stovetop coffee maker, so that's going to save some electricity. We've got our heater vent there, our electric panel. Right here is our gas-powered stove. The only propane I have on board was just for this. If you guys have done much cooking, you know how it is cooking on electric versus a gas, natural gas or propane is way better. You want the flame on, you want the flame on, you know. So that's kind of how I am. I get into my cooking, so we're going to do a lot of cooking videos once we get out on the road. So I know some of you guys are looking forward to that. Our electric, all lighting above. We've got rooftop AC. Right there's our carbon monoxide and fire smoke alarm protection. We've got our AC above, a microwave behind with some storage above. I've got a lawn chair up there, an extra 12-volt pump stuffed in the back there. We've got 120 volts stuffed in there. My trash can, I actually stick on the other side. I just took it out the other day. I strapped that right there to the side of the passenger seat, so we don't have to smell it. It's behind the curtain. This is just a porta potty type of self-contained black water tank, guys. So that has its own tank. We do have a gray water tank underneath. As I said, we've got some of our clothes and things already stuffed in the cabinets. Our max air vent works off a remote. We've got a hood over top of the stove. This folds up, if you guys are wondering. This will fold into a seat so we can sit up here and watch TV. So this is why I went with this, just off of Amazon. I think it was a couple $100 for the frame. They come in different sizes. Of course, the price will reflect that. Sheet set, of course, I had to get for the mattress, about $100 or so for the mattress. A futon type cot size mattress. Our wall paneling, here lies all of our controls. This here is the brains of most of the entire build as far as wiring, guys. I highly recommend this. This sends a trickle charge back up to your motor battery. Ties in your solar panel and your alternator here. So we get a trickle charge back up to the motor battery, and when the motor is running, for that would be from the solar, but when the motor is running, it sends a charge back the other direction to charge our house batteries. So here is our thermostat, a breaker to our 12-volt system. Right there lies our 12-volt system, some metering, some USB ports here, our cigarette lighter. Right here's our voltage. We're setting at 13.8 currently. We went with butcher block on all the countertops. There is a water heater. If we can see under there, I've got some stuff up top. There's some more sticky back tile. We're just going to take that, put that on this back wall here to just kind of make a countertop along with over on this side. So, like I said, we got, another day of tinkering around whenever I get to it. I may not even mess with it until I get to where I'm going. So here's our sink. I have a washcloth in there and a drip pan, your standard sink. Faucet, pull out. We've got it all, guys. I fabricated a little shelf for up above. We've got some sugar and flour. We'll probably put some coffee grounds or something in here. We've got some 120 volts above this. We can plug in easily to outside if need be. This here is for our disco lights. I did a video on that. They run up above. So need to put a plug inside the cabinet. I need to work on that. The wire's up there. Right here lies our other plugs for the washer and dryer. Everything's on GFI, of course. This is just a windshield cover reflector for the windshield, if you're wondering what that is. So I think that about sums it up, guys. If you name it, I have it. I mean, this is totally self-contained, 100%. Like I say, even these sprinters that Winnebago and such are putting out, they do not have what I have. In, my research, even their camper hookup, which mine is out here on this side of the van, for your fresh water incoming, We have a freshwater tank right here sitting center of the wheel well. That's where you want to put most of your weight. And our batteries are down under there as well. So you want to put your, most of your weight near the center of the rear axle for sure. But, from what I seen, the hookup, if you pull into a park, was on the inside of the van. I didn't understand that. That's insanity to me. So you have to leave a door open to hook up fresh water to your system? That's crazy. But that's what you get for $200,000, I guess. So what did all this cost me, guys? Let's go over this. Okay, here's my list. You guys wanted it. Here it is. I've got 6 100-watt solar panels up there on the roof. They were about $100 a piece. These are all ballpark numbers, guys, but very close. I went, all kind of, not all out. I don't want to say that, but these are very good close estimates because, where you live, where the economy is right now, with inflation, everything is going to be different in your area. Whether you're in a different country, it might be more or less. And, you catch things on sale. Some things you might be able to catch secondhand. But there's the numbers. You guys can read the numbers. There's no sense in me going through that. Lumber, I put down $500. I think that's a pretty good ballpark estimate on what it would cost you for a little bit of framing, a couple sheets of paneling, faucets and plumbing. That was for the shower pan, all the plumbing, the fittings, the pipe, and the faucets. We've got the kitchen faucet and the shower faucet. So 500 easily, sums up that. Our bed frame, as we just went over on that. The cabinet was actually for this cabinet here, which we didn't go over. I put one of those sponge holders here, so it's just kind of acting as a junk drawer in a way. And I shove a couple remotes in there, a knife. Here we've got, it's packed for sure. Shoved my speaker in there the other day, but this lays flat. And this is a great idea too, guys, if you're living on the road with the van life, to conserve water. Doing dishes, you need something like this. Just make yourself a soapy spray bottle and spray off after you wipe off your dishes. Save you a lot of water. And down here we've got a bunch of canned goods, coffee pot, the norm. So on to the next page here. We're going to do a flip and get down to the nitty gritty. If we add all that up, and I guess I should have stated, my van cost me $6,000. I know, it's crazy. I stole this van, I truly did. But when did I buy it? Before the pandemic. And that's what you could have gotten before the pandemic. Something like this, which is a diesel-powered Sprinter, inline 5-cylinder. Mercedes has been making Mercedes-Benz motors for a long, long time. And the other thing, here on the bottom, I put batteries, as you can see, with a question mark. Tires, wheels, and fixes. That was, I had a check engine light on. I replaced the glow plugs, glow plug relay, and I put new wheels and tires on it because I had the old steel wheels. I wanted something lighter to be able to do the build like this. We could maximize a little more weight and switch to aluminum wheels. So that grand total brought us to $16,000. So I put $1,000 miscellaneous. As you can see here, fuses, fuse holders, cables, wires, breakers, boxes for junction boxes, making up stuff, lights, plug-ins like USBs, cigarette lighters, actual 120 volt receptacles, switches and such, meters, things like that, etc. So all that stuff is going to be around $1,000 bucks, or maybe more, maybe less, depending on your case. But it cost me about $1,000 for all those little knickknacks. I did forget a couple things, guys. I forgot about my propane tank underneath, and I actually forgot about the max air vent, so I didn't have those on the list. So between the two of those, about another $500. I think it was about $250 each to add to this number. So that'll take us to $17,500. So in my situation, I went with AGMs. If I had it to do all over again, I would have chosen AGMs again. During construction, I think it's a very smart move, because you may be a year or two if you're old like me and you want to take your time and do everything, the way you want it, plan it out, do it once instead of 2 or 3 builds and not being happy with it. I beg to differ with some people. Just throw a mattress in here and go. I think you should take the time, design what you want on paper. I probably had 20 different designs that I tossed in the trash before I came up with this one. And I think I did damn well. I've yet to see a mid-size sprinter with all the goodies like what I have here. But that just took time on paper and measuring things as I was buying them and not buying the wrong size things and such. So what it would have done different is maybe buy one AGM battery just to get all the electrical up and going. But silly me, I bought 4 of them. So buying 4 AGMs, it was 200 amp hours each. Those currently, I just looked up the price, they're about $400 a piece. So $400 a piece would be $1,600. And right here, like I say, you're going to need some kind of way to lock it down. You're going to need lugs and fittings and things like that. It's just going to be a little bit more for AGM. So I add another $500 to that, which we'll just call $400. So that'll make it another $1,600 for the batteries. We'll take that to $2,000 with the additional $400 instead of $500. So that takes me to the $19,000 plus the extra $500. So in the beginning of all of this, I said I was going to build this van for less than $20,000, guys. So I made my goal, even counting the propane and the max air vent. I would be right at $19,500. And that still leaves a little wiggle room because I'm sure we forgot something. Like an insurance claim or something. If you're trying to figure out all this stuff, you're definitely going to forget stuff and get screwed at the end of the day. But right there, I'd be at $19,500, and maybe, if you've forgotten things or unestimated cost on things, put me right at $20,000. So I am within my budget. So that's the other thing. Try to stay within your budget if you're going to do one of these builds, guys. So if I would have went lithium, which I should have because my batteries are pretty much shot at this point because it took me a couple years to do the build. So you're looking at a couple years for the AGMs. I wanted to see that AC up top was going to work, and it did. But I would have definitely been better off with going the lithium route. It would have cost me a lot more up front. They say about half is what you get out of an AGM, basically. So with a AGM setup, me buying 4 200 amp hour batteries gave me 800 amp hours, which technically is 400 amp hours. Because they're AGMs, you can only take them down 50%. And I don't advise taking them to the full 50% for sure. That will extend the life on the 2 years. You might get 2.5, maybe 3. Depends on your cycles for sure as well. But on the lithium, you're more likely going to get about 10 years. So in the long run, I would have been better off spending that couple $1,000 towards the towards the lithiums, because the lithiums are about $1,000 a piece, guys. So this is all variant. That's why I put the question mark on the other page. Depending on how much power you need for your particular situation. So I'd say an extra 1,000 instead of 500 on the AGM stuff. Once again, you still need some way to tie it down. You're going to need lugs and such. And there's a few extra components that you'll need versus going AGM versus lithium, because lithiums charge a little differently. So as you get into your research on hooking that type of stuff up, you'll find out that lithium will cost you a little bit more on top of the batteries. So I just added another 500 versus the 500 on the AGM. So could you guys cut some cost? For sure you could. You could find yourself a cheaper van, even on the $6,000 steel that I got. That would save you some bucks. Do you need an air condition? No, you don't need an air condition. A lot of people have van builds without AC units. That was $900 I put on that front page there. So, or you could go with a residential style window unit. Put yourself a hole in the back door. I've seen people do that. You can pick those up for a couple $100. There's lots of corners that you guys could cut to bring your prices down. Do you need a bathroom? That's on you. You could pay $10 a month and go to All Time Fitness or something like that and have a shower, a bathroom. You could stop by McDonald's, to each his own. Everybody is different, and that's the wonderful thing about the world. If we were all the same, then it would be an awfully boring place. But me, myself, I wanted to make this a full-blown house. So I've done so, even with a washer and dryer. So how many have a washer and dryer? That's, about $500 right there. You could probably knock off the list. So I'm going to say you could make a very decent build for less than 10 grand. But if you want to go crazy like I did, 20 grand, and you can have yourself a better place to live than going out to spend one of these $200,000 sprinters and waiting a year or two in line, because these foolish people, in my opinion, just are lined up for them. It's just insanity to me. So for 10% on your dollar, you might get a little dirty. Oh my gosh. So, don't be scared to get dirty and save yourself $180,000. So that's what the VanLife Biker has got to say on this. It's, I like to say it all the time, more money than sense, as in pennies, cents. This just a little internal joke to me. But a lot of truth goes to that, and it's just crazy to me. People spend $200,000 on a van, and you got to leave the door open to run the water hose inside to hook up your water connection in a park. So those things really happen in engineering, and you can do all that yourself. And if you don't have the capabilities of doing it, there's no excuse. Because I've documented my entire build right here on this channel. And if there's ever any questions, I'm here for you. Any comment you guys have ever left me, I've always responded. So any questions, don't hesitate. So that's what I got to say about that. Till the next time, this is Van with the VanLife Biker Show. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.